Welcome to the Crimson Engine. My name is Rubidium. Today we are looking at this guy, the SmallHD Focus 7. So SmallHD is pretty much an industry standard when it comes to monitors. Pretty much every medium to professional film set I've been on in the last 5 years has had some kind of SmallHD, either video village monitor, field monitor, camera monitor, or even just or something. They came out around 10 years ago, I want to say, and they had super bright displays. They had really great software, lots of control, but they were expensive, especially in the DSLR days, when your camera itself cost $1,500 to $2,000. SmallHD, I think it was the Bright 701, cost around $2,000, so more than the camera itself. Well, a couple of months ago, they came out with the Focus 5, which is a 5-inch HDMI only version of their top range monitors, which is still plenty bright and still has all the great features that SmallHD have in their monitors, which we'll get to later. But 5 inches is still pretty small when you're judging critical focus. Great for run and gun stuff, or great for eyepiece, but when you're outside or when you're on set and you're trying to work out whether or not the image that you have coming from the camera is the image that's going to look good on a big screen, I personally think that 5 inches isn't enough. So cue the 7-inch SmallHD Focus 7. This is a 7-inch 1080p display that can accept a 4K signal coming from the camera. The reason that lots of production standard, industry standard monitors are so expensive is SDI. SDI is the professional way of getting an image from a camera to a monitor, but it uses quite a lot of power and it uses a lot more, it's a lot more expensive to make than HDMI. So you used to have your low-end HDMI, almost like prosumer consumer monitors, then you had your high-end SDI monitors like the My TV Logic F7H that I've reviewed here, and there was nothing really in between. Well, SmallHD have solved that problem with the Focus 5 and Focus 7. And they are HDMI only with only one HDMI port. I originally thought that this wouldn't be such a great fit for the C200 because the C200 is a weird camera in that the histogram and the internal camera lookup table is only carried through the SDI. It's not carried through the HDMI. So I didn't think this would be maybe a perfect monitor for the C200, but it turns out that the internal features that SmallHD put in their monitors, including this one, more than compensate for what's coming out of the camera along HDMI. I would say my favorite thing about this monitor is the lookup table ability and really just the interface. So it gives you several workspaces where you can change how the image coming from the camera is configured, and you can just swipe between them on the big, very responsive, very impressive touchscreen. So you may have one of them that's set up just to show the raw C-Log 3 coming from the camera. Then you can have another one which is graded to a Rec 709 by the monitor itself. You can have a third one which is graded with a lookup table that you've created, and we'll look how to do that in DaVinci Resolve. And you can have a fourth one that has false color, and very quickly, without having to turn those on and off, you can have them as custom presets and like swipe between them. So that you can use one for exposure, use one to show to the client, use one to expose with, to set up your lighting with, and a third to watch while you're filming, and all with the flick of a wrist. So how do you go about creating a LUT that you're going to load into your monitor? Here I have a shot of me with my skin tones at around 50%, which is where they should be on the C200 in C-Log 3. I usually shoot C-Log 2 raw, but because the camera doesn't display C-Log 2, I'm going to grade for C-Log 3. So I'm just going to go in, find my LUTs, my Crimson Engine LUTs, and add my C-Log 3 Aries LUT. It looks okay. For this one, I'm actually going to bring the brights up and the darks down. Maybe I'll even boost the shadows a little. Something that I'm happy with. Bring down these darks again. Maybe even add a little color boost, which, unlike saturation, adds color tone to the shadows first. So that's pretty legitimate. Now what I can do is pull up my clips, right click my clips, generate a cube LUT, save that. Now I can add that to a SD card and put it into the monitor. So I insert the SD card, navigate to where my LUT is, select it, comes up applied, I click that, and then click it again to make it live. This guy can be powered from the 2MP style Sony batteries on the back, which I think is a great upgrade from the LP6 Canon style batteries that the 701 and 702 had. They really don't hold a lot of charge for very long. This also comes with an adapter for DTAP, so I can run it off my V-mount batteries at the back of my camera and really power the whole thing all day. It only has one HDMI port and it's all the way up in here. I'm not quite sure what that was. You have to get the HDMI cable maybe 1.5 inches into the unit before it connects. I think that's to stop it getting yanked out, because HDMI, unlike SDI, doesn't have any kind of lock. And very often cables would come loose, and it was one of the main reasons that HDMI isn't a professional standard for cameras. One of the big things I love about this is the mounting points. It has 1/4-20s in both sides, the bottom and the back, and it's fully reversible. So I can put this on the back, have it hanging down on the side as my focus pullers monitor, and feed HDMI through it from my wireless video. So it does only have one HDMI port, so if you want to loop video through, this will have to be the end of the chain. You get LUTs into this monitor through the SD card slot in the bottom. One thing I was curious about, and I haven't worked out how to do, maybe someone can tell me, is I could only load LUTs into the monitor or use LUTs in the monitor while I had that particular SD card in the slot. I wasn't able to load them in and leave them in there. I only had access to the factory standard ones all the time, which transformed the log coming from the camera into a more Rec. 709 color space. Maybe the camera doesn't have any internal storage, or they didn't want people messing with it, but it seems a little weird to me. I would much prefer to be able to put them in the camera and leave them there, and then when I want other ones, use them again and again. The software on this thing is just out of control. It's basically, it's like an iPad. It has so many settings, variables. It has so many abilities to customize this monitor to the type of shooting that you do or want to do. It has false color that lets you choose where the colors are. It has all kind of focus peaking, which is really valuable because I think it's a perfect focus pullers monitor. It's also super light. It's probably half the weight of my TV Logic monitor. It's not as bright, but it's definitely bright enough to see outside on a sunny day. Also, maybe because of the HDMI only, it really isn't much of a power hog. You can run this thing pretty much all day on two of the thicker NP batteries, or I didn't even notice the extra current drawing from the V-mount battery. The versatility of it does make it a really good option for run and gun, and it's really just an extra thing to have in your kit that you can shoot in the studio with, you can shoot outside with, you can use as an extra monitor, you can use as a run and gun monitor. I think this is the kind of screen that I've wanted SmallHD to make for a long time, and they've finally done it. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your questions in the comments. You can click the link in the description to see how much these are at different places. And I will see you next time.